in terms of the resources or lack of resources.
Exactly.
In terms, therefore, of all the indicators of backwardness or development.
Exactly. So therefore, they are put in one class.
Income, social status. Yeah. The status of every caste may not be the same in the social hierarchy as well.
Exactly. Exactly. So that
between them, some may be a little more advanced, some may be a little less advanced, some people may be particularly underprivileged.
Correct. Absolutely.
In terms of other indicators like infant mortality, maternal mortality, fertility rates, which sort of define, broadly speaking, whether there has been progress in the social indicators.
Absolutely.
Yes.
In the 21st century, Millers, we are looking at issues of equality, inequality, issues relating to how we ameliorate the conditions of those who have been sidelined for centuries, who have been humiliated for centuries, who have been ostracized for centuries. I don't think we can ever imagine how they were dealt with in the context of the caste structure that prevailed. So, Malad, I think that the constitution makers in 1950 realized this. That is why the notification was issued in 1950. And they also realized that this is not going to stop. Because they gave the power to Parliament, but this is an evolving situation. They gave power to Parliament to deal with the matter. And it's unlikely that this is going to end very soon. It is in that context, Malad, that we must look at this matter. And what we can do, quite apart from reservation. For Malad, the two basic assumptions that Chanaya made, which were wrong, is number one, they considered the scheduled castes in the order as a homogeneous group. They assumed that this represents a homogeneous group. And I will demonstrate to your lordships that that assumption is based on no factual data. That assumption is based on no analysis of that data.
What they hold is that once they find the place in that particular group, then they are all
homogeneous. What's the basis of that? In fact, heterogeneity is inherent in that.
Actually, the homogeneous nature of all the entries is for the purpose of designation.
Yes, absolutely.
They are homogeneous in the sense that each one of them is a scheduled caste. But your argument is that there is no homogeneity either in terms of the sociological profile, economic development, social advancement, educational advancement.
Absolutely. So that assumption in Chanaya was wrong.
Common factor is social and social backwardness, social and economic backwardness. But the degree may vary from one
entity
to another entity.
Absolutely. So the assumption of homogeneity in Chanaya itself is constitutionally flawed. That's the first mistake Chanaya made. The second mistake Chanaya made was that it correlated the presidential order with reservation. These are the two assumptions on the basis of which Chanaya was rendered. Neither of these assumptions is valid.
Because the designation is for the purposes of the Constitution.
That's correct.
It's not only for reservation, nor is it coterminous with reservation.
I'll go a step further. It has nothing to do with reservation. Well, the designation of this class has nothing to do with reservation. Reservation emanates from the plenary power of Parliament, which is in 16(4) for the purposes of employment.
Because Indra Swani says that it can be done even by executive instructions.
But now not anymore, Malad. Because now it's Parliament has to make a law, Malad. Now Parliament has to make a
For
law to change
reservation.
the schedule, to change the schedule.
Reservation in the Swan goes on to say that it is not necessary that there has to be legislation. It can be done even by executive.
Maybe so, Manoj, but that is not part of the notification. But that's nothing to do with reservation. My point is, Manoj, you are assuming
That may not be correct, because if there is a reservation for scheduled caste, so unless that particular entry finds in the place in the presidential order, that person from that it is not entitled to
I just
reservation.
demonstrate that your lordships, wherever they wanted to give reservation, they have given it. Because then reservation is part of 16(4) itself as far as employment is concerned.
It's a necessary but not a sufficient condition.
Correct.
Designation under Article 341
Yes.
is a necessary condition for reservation, but it is not sufficient in itself.
Correct.
Because having been designated, there is still an enabling power which is conferred upon the Parliament, or for that matter, as brother says, on the executive.
Yes, but it's the union or the Parliament, Manoj, but the order itself has no reference to reservation, and I'll show that from the chapter itself. Manoj, first of all, let me go to the first point,
Yes.
and then I'll come to the second point. These are two assumptions I want to deal with immediately. Now, kindly come to PDF. This is volume 4, PDF page 1381. Volume 4, page 1386, Manoj, PDF 1386. We're looking at Punjab, Manoj.
Mr. Sibal, just give me just a second.
Lordship has that?
Just one minute.
Sorry.
Volume 4, right?
Yes, volume 4, 1386.
Yes.
You have that chart now, Manoj?
Yes.
Now, kindly look at item 38 on the right-hand side.
Yes.
Mochi. We all know, Manoj?
Yes.
Now look at 34. Sapera. Sapela is
snakes.
Snakes. One has nothing to do with the other. Look at Manoj, Bazigar. He indulges in acrobatic feats. Then Batwal Manoj. Actually belongs to the Rajput caste. Manoj is normally a watchman. So what you have an agglomeration of various castes which are put together who have been humiliated for centuries. The heterogeneity is clear from the table itself. I can go on, Manoj. There is one Gagra which has only 268 families in Jagraon in Ludhiana. There is a Nut which is an unskilled labor. The Koli is the hunter and a butcher. The Sasi Manoj is a criminal, comes from that class.
Kori would be fishermen.
No, but originally came as hunters and butchers. Manoj. That is item Manoj.
So there is heterogeneity
91.
in terms of the pre-existing occupation.
That's right.
In terms of the resources or lack of resources.
Exactly.
In terms, therefore, of all the indicators of backwardness or development.
Exactly. So therefore, they are put in one class.
Income, social status.
Yeah.
The status of every caste may not be the same in the social hierarchy as well.
Exactly. So that
between them, some may be a little more advanced, some may be a little less advanced, people may be particularly underprivileged.
Correct. Absolutely.
In terms of other indicators like infant mortality, maternal mortality, fertility rates, which sort of define, broadly speaking, whether there has been progress in the social indicators.
Absolutely. Now that assumption was made by a observation of Justice Krishna Iyer in Thomas. And that's at page 135. Sorry, para 135, but let me give you the page. Volume 5. Page 84. ADF 84. Yes.
Did Justice Krishna use the word homogeneity or?
No, he said, he doesn't use the word homogeneity at all, Manoj. I tell you, Lordship, what he said. Just have a look at volume 5, PDF 84. And this is, Malaj, in fact, quoted by Justice Hegde. And then he comes to the conclusion that they are one class. Now just see, Malaj, that.